We've tried everything. That's what Mikey's mom told me during her darkest moment, right after her 4-year-old son's autism diagnosis. He'd had speech therapy since he was 2, occupational therapy, and then looking for ABA, spending thousands of dollars, countless hours within waiting rooms, fighting insurance. And despite all of it, all of the therapies, all of the support, the meltdowns kept happening. And she couldn't understand what he wanted. The behaviors weren't changing. She said that it felt like being completely alone, watching her son struggle and not knowing what else to try. And if that's you right now, and if you're a parent that's in Katy, Cinco Ranch, West Houston, whose child is spinning their wheels in behavioral therapy, what I'm about to show you might be the answer that you've been searching for. Because here's what nobody told Mikey's mom, and what nobody is telling you. The therapist says that your child is doing great in sessions. They're learning the skills, they're practicing the strategies, making progress on paper. And then you get home, and it's like none of it ever even happened. There's the meltdowns at the grocery store. They can't handle loud noises. They're overwhelmed by bright lights. The skills they just demonstrated an hour ago in the therapy room, they're gone. And here's what the therapist tells you: they need more time. They need more repetitions, more practice. Let's add another session moving forward. So you do. You add more therapy, you spend more money, you invest more of the time. And 6 months later, you're right back where you started. Now, let me ask you something. What if the problem was never the therapy? What if the problem was never your child's ability to learn and for that stuff to stick? What if the problem is that everyone, the speech therapist, the OT, the RBTs, the BCBAs, the behavioral therapists, even your pediatrician, they're building a house on a foundation that's cracked. But here's the truth that changed everything for Mikey's family. Behavioral therapy teaches your child how to drive. Now, those are valuable, those skills matter. But if that parking brake is stuck down, if your child's nervous system is locked in survival mode, there's no amount of driver training that's going to move that car forward. So you're not dealing with a behavioral problem, you're dealing with a neurological one. And until someone addresses the nervous system first, all those therapies that you're investing in and are working 10 times harder in than they need to. So think about it. Your child can perform beautifully in the controlled therapy room. Oftentimes there's low sensory input. It's a predictable routine, the one-on-one attention. Their nervous system stays calm enough to access those skills. But real life isn't a therapy room. The moment they encounter the real world, loud noises at Target, bright lights at school, unexpected schedule changes at home, their nervous system shifts into fight or flight mode because of the increased demand that they can't meet. Blood flow moves away from our prefrontal cortex, which is the thinking, rational brain, and into the survival centers like the amygdala, which is our fear or anxiety center, and that takes over. And every single skill that they learn in therapy, it's locked behind a door that their body won't let them access. Now, it's not willpower and it's not behavior, right? They're not choosing this. It's physiology. You cannot think your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. Now, you might be thinking, Dr. John, that sounds great in theory, but show me the proof. Fair enough. One of my biggest mentors in the chiropractic space did a massive peer-reviewed study in 2022 that was published in the Journal of Pediatric, Maternal, and Family Health. And they followed kids with autism, ADHD, sensory processing challenges, and developmental delays. Now, these weren't new kids just starting therapy. These were the children that had already tried the traditional behavioral therapies with minimal improvements, right? The ones labeled treatment resistant, the ones whose parents were told to wait and see or consider medications. Now, the researchers measured what happened when these children received neurologically focused chiropractic care to address the root nervous system dysfunction first. And this is what they found. 74% of these children showed significant improvement in emotional regulation, in anxiety, and self-regulation. 64% showed dramatic improvements in learning outcomes, their attention, their focus, their reading comprehension, and the ability to complete tasks. Listen to that again. Go back if you have to. These were the same kids who had failed behavioral therapy. But what changed? The kids sure didn't. The parents didn't either. Not even the therapies that they were already doing. What changed was they addressed the foundation first. which is our nervous system. And suddenly the therapies that have been plateauing for months or years, they actually started working. Now at Haven Family Chiropractic, we call this the perfect storm. It's not just one thing that dysregulates your child's nervous system, like the trip to Target or a schedule change. It's the combination of stressors that pile up before they were born, during birth, and in early childhood. Now, for Mikey, his perfect storm looked like this. Before birth, mom dealt with PCOS, with family stress. There was COVID stress during pregnancy, so that cortisol and stress hormones crossed the placental barrier, affecting his developing nervous system before he even took his first breath. During birth, there was the emergency C-section at 41 weeks, an epidural, meconium swallowed, his head was swelling, the physical stress and trauma to the upper neck and to the brainstem, particularly where the vagus nerve sets up shop, set him up for all of this nervous system dysregulation from day one. And in early childhood, there was latching difficulties, recurring ear infections, multiple rounds of antibiotics that disrupted his gut microbiome, then created speech delays, lots of screen time. And by age 4, his nervous system was stuck in sympathetic, gas pedal stuck on dominance, with the brake pedal broken. Does this sound familiar? The stressful pregnancy, birth interventions, colic, reflux, ear infections as an infant, then speech delays and sensory challenges moving forward? If you're nodding your head right now and you're like, damn, that's my kid, your child likely has their own perfect storm. And here's the thing. Nobody has checked their nervous system. Not the pediatrician, not their speech therapist, not the occupational therapist or their BCBA and RBT. Everyone is treating the symptoms and nobody is actually measuring the foundation. So what happened when Mikey's parents came to Haven Family Chiropractic for their perfect storm workshop? First, we did something that no one else had done before. We actually observed and measured his nervous system function using the insight scans. Now, these 3 scans show us exactly where the nervous system is stuck. Heart rate variability revealed that he was locked into fight or flight with little to no capacity to adapt to the stressors of everyday life. His surface EMG showed massive tension and dysfunction throughout the entire neuromotor system. And the thermal scans showed severe autonomic imbalances. The gut, the immune, and the stress response systems were all dysregulated. And when Mikey's mom saw those scans for the first time, she cried. And I cried with her, not because they were bad, but because it finally made sense and someone could show her what was going on the inside of her son's body. Things started making sense. And then we created a customized care plan focused on one sole thing: releasing the stuck stress into the nervous system through precise, neurologically focused chiropractic care. And here's what happened in 6 months. Mikey's mom reported that he's overall happier. The meltdowns are less frequent and they're less severe. He's sleeping through the night, overall easygoing throughout the day, and he's willing to challenge himself in therapies, especially OT. Because the occupational therapy that they've been doing for years suddenly started to gain momentum. And the big thing was, they weren't afraid to take an adventure as his emotions were becoming more predictable. They were able to do life. And she rated the quality of life impact as the highest possible rating. And in a review, she wrote us the most amazing statement. She said that the goals are being met. The change is there. People are mentioning how much that he's changed. But here's what I want you to catch. Mikey didn't stop doing speech therapy or OT. He just started getting results from those therapies because the nervous system was finally in a place that it could learn. Now, I need to be crystal clear about something. Haven Family Chiropractic is not your typical chiropractor. We don't treat back pain. We don't do sports injuries. We don't just crack and go. We're the only practice in West Houston that's solely dedicated to severe pediatric neurological cases. The kids that everyone else has given up on, the ones labeled treatment resistant, the families who have been dismissed by traditional healthcare and told to just wait and see. The kids like Mikey. And the thing is, we use technology that 99% of chiropractors, let alone pediatricians and therapists, don't have access to. The insight scans, they don't guess. It measures. It shows us exactly where your child's nervous system is stuck, how severe that dysfunction is, and whether our care is creating real and lasting change. Now, I'm not asking you to just trust me or to believe in chiropractic, right? We're showing you the objective data that proves nervous system function is improving. And when that foundation improves, everything else that your child is working on, the speech, the behavior, the learning, the emotional regulation, all of those things get easier. So, this is what I want you to do. If you're tired of watching your child spin their wheels in behavioral therapy or any of the other modalities that we've talked about, and if you've been told to wait and see one more time and you're done waiting, if you're ready to address the foundation instead of just managing symptoms forever, I want to invite you to our free Perfect Storm workshop on March 18th, right here at Haven Family Chiropractic in Katy, Texas. And in this 90-minute workshop, we're going to break down the 3 hidden neurological stressors blocking your child's progress. These are the ones that your therapist or their pediatrician aren't checking. Why behavioral therapy plateaus without nervous system support, and how to know if your child's perfect storm is affecting their growth, their development, their well-being. And we're going to talk about what the insight scans reveal that traditional evaluations miss. Now we're limiting the attendance to 20 families or so that we can answer your specific questions and create space for real conversation. And the last time we ran this workshop, it sold out in 4 days. We had families drive from Galveston, from Conroe, from Huntsville, from everywhere. So click the link within our description right now to be able to register, or comment the word workshop below and we'll send you that registration link directly. Whether you're in Missouri City, whether you're in Sugar Land or Sealy or Conroe or Galveston, and your child has been dismissed, they've plateaued in therapies, the therapies have stopped working, Haven Family Chiropractic is your safe space. We see the impossible cases and we help them thrive. I'm Dr. John Caruso, and I'll see you March 18th.